It's Joshua Gar from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And as you can see behind me, everyone has filed out of the premiere event and now they have their hands on the Galaxy Tab S tablets by Samsung. So with that in mind, you know what time it is. It's time for the rundown. So as far as the event goes, it was a pretty standard affair. Now you might see this video coming out just a little bit later than the actual event, and the reason why is because I actually wanted to get the live stream footage instead of using the footage that I had on my camera because I had to conserve battery life. Nonetheless though, the event was pretty standard. There was a lot of fanfare about these AMOLED screens. Obviously Samsung is putting a lot into their AMOLED screens, and I'm actually standing right beside one of the Tab Intercolor advertisers. That's what's lighting me right now, and it was pretty much all over the place, being able to see the different technologies and also the different ways that they're implementing the AMOLED technology. And I will say, I never really knew that there was so much you could say about just a screen, and I think that's actually kind of cool. The fact that the adaptive lighting is there, so that if you have particular types of lighting above you, it will adapt to that and give you a better looking image. That is something that I was able to see during my briefing, and you will see that footage right now. And it does work, but the reason why I didn't really focus on it too much is because I would love to see it in a real world setting where you're going in and out of the house, for example. And it was a very controlled environment there, obviously, so we will be able to see what the adaptive lighting would look like under those particular conditions. But even if there is going to be an improvement with these particular AMOLED screens over LCD screens or more conventional screens when it comes to being out in the daylight, I'm not too sure if it's going to be that big of a change, but even if it's just a little bit, I suppose that's something to be excited about. And then later on in the presentation, we saw a lot of the reasons why this AMOLED screen was being pushed so hard. And from my perspective, I saw it as an opportunity for Samsung to create partnerships with a lot of companies, and you saw a lot of them. There were publications like National Geographic and also Netflix. Netflix is going to be making 1080p ready content for these particular tablets, and it's going to be one of the first tablets to get that full HD treatment from Netflix. You already have a bunch of different lines of tablets, but they're going to come out with yet another one. You kind of have to question and think to yourself, well, do we really need another line? Well, AMOLED apparently is Samsung's forte, and they're really putting a lot of their effort into it. So I don't really blame them for wanting to really push it. And if they're going to put it on their tablets, it is an improvement. As you've seen in my videos already, I believe, you can see that the contrast and the you have darker blacks inside of the AMOLED screens as compared to the other LCD screens from previous tablet offerings from Samsung. You do see a difference, and it is a pleasant change. And AMOLED screens are actually really easy on the eyes. They are really nice to look at. They might be oversaturated at times, but it does provide you much higher contrast, which might end up being a much more enjoyable experience. That is true. But I did question a little bit on the way here if AMOLED screens were really supposed to be the main trump card for this new line of tablets. Was it really enough to justify a whole new set? Well, luckily Samsung did have a few other tricks up their sleeve, not only with the technology behind the screen, but also with all the partnerships that they have, and I will admit that it all sort of came together in the end. Personally, I don't really use tablets as much anymore, and when it comes to these particular tablets, I'm not sure if they would make me use tablets more often just because of an AMOLED screen and a few of the goodies that are inside. But once I get my hands on it, I will use it for a little while and see if that does change, because I have plenty of fun on my 5.5-inch screen devices already anyway. So that's just the rundown and a little bit of my commentary on this particular event. I just wanted to give you some of my thoughts on there. If you watched the live event, make sure you comment down below and tell us what you thought of not only the product but also the presentation. And of course, make your opinions known. Let us know what you think about these products and what you would like to see when we get our hands on them as well. So keep it tuned to Android Authority for all of the best coverage, including our coverage of the Samsung Galaxy Tab S line. And keep it tuned here. Drop us some likes, subscribe if you haven't already, and remember that Android Authority is your source for all things Android.